You know that moment when you lose your temper with your child and then lie awake at night replaying it over and over, wondering if you are somehow breaking them? That guilt that sits heavy on your chest in the dark, that fear that you are getting this whole parenting thing wrong, that exhaustion that goes so deep it is not even physical anymore. That is where this video starts, right there with you. Because I see you, and I understand exactly what you are carrying. Parenting is the hardest job on the planet, and nobody gave you a manual. You are just out here doing your best with whatever emotional tools you were handed, often from parents who are also doing their best with broken tools. And the cycle just keeps going. But here is what nobody tells you. The smallest, simplest habit shifts can literally rewrite the entire emotional trajectory of your household. Not theory, not wishful thinking. Real, documented, proven shifts that parents around the world have used to transform chaos into connection. And before we go any further, if you feel like you need more than just a video, we do have programs linked down below in the description that go much deeper into this work. These are for people who are serious about changing things fast, but do not wait too long on that, because the longer you sit in the same patterns, the harder they become to break. More on that later. Now let us talk about what is actually happening in your home right now. Picture this. You have had a long day. You are tired before it even starts. Your child is melting down over something that feels completely ridiculous to you. You say stop it. They escalate. You raise your voice. They cry harder. You feel that wave of shame crash over you before the moment is even finished. And then you try to recover, maybe with a hug they are not ready for yet, or a snack you are using to smooth things over. And tomorrow it happens again. Same loop, different day. That loop is not a character flaw. It is a pattern. And patterns can be interrupted. Research in child development has shown consistently that children who grow up with emotionally regulated parents develop stronger neural pathways for self-control, empathy, and resilience. We are talking about outcomes that follow them for life: academic performance, relationship quality, mental health, career success. The way you show up today is literally shaping the architecture of their brain. That is not pressure, that is power. So what are these habits that change everything? The first one sounds almost too simple. It is the pause. Not the dramatic count to 10 pause that you have heard about 1,000 times. A real pause, a conscious breath where you shift from reacting to responding. Studies show that emotional regulation in a parent reduces cortisol levels in a child within minutes. Think about that. Your calm is contagious in the best possible way. When you regulate yourself, you biologically co-regulate your child. Their nervous system literally takes cues from yours. Here is a vivid moment for you. Think about the last time someone spoke to you from a place of genuine calm when you were spiraling. Something in you settled, right? You could breathe again. That is exactly what you become for your child when you master the pause. You become their anchor in the storm. Not a perfect parent, an anchored one. The second habit is specific, not generic praise. Most parents say things like, "Good job," or "You are so smart." And researchers have found that this kind of praise actually backfires over time. Children who hear "you are so smart" start to avoid challenges because they fear losing that identity. But children who hear "you work so hard on that," even when it was frustrating, develop what psychologists call a growth mindset. They become resilient. They try again after failure. They do not quit when things get hard. That one shift in how you speak about effort versus outcome can change your child's relationship with challenge for their entire life. Imagine your child 10 or 15 years from now, walking into a difficult situation at work or in a relationship, and instead of shutting down, they take a breath and try again. Because somewhere deep in their memory is the sound of your voice telling them that effort is what matters. You planted that seed, a simple habit, a lifetime of impact. The third habit is what experts call labeled validation, not dismissing emotions, not toxic positivity, real acknowledgement. When your child says they hate school, instead of saying "no, you do not," or "just push through it," you say "it sounds like today felt really overwhelming. Tell me more." That simple response opens a door. And through that door comes trust. And through trust comes communication. And through communication comes the relationship where your teenager actually talks to you instead of shutting you out. Because let us be honest about the alternative for a second. The parent who consistently dismisses emotions raises a child who stops sharing them. And one day you realize you do not know your child anymore. They are right there in your home and they feel like a stranger. That distance does not happen overnight. It builds one dismissed moment at a time, and it can be rebuilt the same way. One validated moment at a time. The fourth habit is presence over perfection. Not perfect days, not perfect responses, not a perfectly organized schedule. Just moments of genuine, undivided, phone-down presence. Researchers studying parent-child bonding have found that it only takes consistent small deposits of real connection to maintain a strong emotional bank account with your child. We are talking about minutes, not hours. Minutes of real eye contact. Minutes of letting them lead the play. Minutes of listening without an agenda. Those minutes compound, just like interest in a bank account. You put in the small deposits consistently, and the emotional wealth builds in ways you will not even fully see until much later. Until the day your child comes to you with something that matters, and they trust you enough to be honest. Until the day they navigate a hard situation with the emotional skills you helped wire into them without even realizing you were doing it. Here is where we shift to what the parents who made these changes actually experience. The homes change. The morning routines that used to feel like a battle become calmer, not overnight, but progressively. The tantrums reduce in frequency and intensity because the child feels safer and more understood. The bedtime fights become shorter because the connection throughout the day fills the emotional cup enough that the child is not seeking connection through resistance at night. The fights between siblings decrease because they are mirroring the emotional regulation they now see modeled every single day. Parents who implement consistent positive parenting habits report within the first few weeks a measurable reduction in household conflict. Within a few months, a noticeable improvement in their child's behavior in school, and within a year, a relationship with their child that they describe as one of the most profound transformations of their life. Not because they became perfect, because they became consistent. And that is the part that most people underestimate. Consistency beats perfection every single time. Your child does not need a flawless parent. They need a present, emotionally aware, consistently trying parent. Now let me be direct with you about something. Reading or watching content like this is a start. It is a meaningful start. But the research on habit change is clear. Information alone rarely creates sustained behavioral change. What creates change is accountability, structure, and a system that walks you through the process in a way that actually sticks in real life with real children on real exhausted days. If you are ready to stop running on the same loop and start building something genuinely different in your home, the programs we have linked down below in the description are exactly where to begin. These go far beyond surface-level tips. They are built for the parent, who is tired of trying things that do not last and wants a real framework that works. The parents who act now are the ones who start seeing real shifts, while others are still waiting for the right moment. And the right moment is always right now, when the urgency of why you are watching this is still fresh and real and sitting right on your heart. Your child is not looking for a perfect parent. They are looking for you. The version of you that showed up today and decided enough was enough. That version changes everything.